I had just finished making dinner for the family. The wives don't get a say in this, after all, my mother-in-law declared. All right, fine, I said out loud, even though I was secretly thrilled inside. I glanced at my husband, Kevin, and his dad. They both nodded in agreement, signaling it was time for me to speak up. Actually, I'll eat what I made, I said, then suddenly paused. Wait a second, I exclaimed as I rummaged through my bag. Here it is. I pulled out an envelope and held it up. Mother, I found this, I said confidently. Let me introduce myself. My name is Molly. I married Kevin when I was 25, and 3 years later, we had our son. Life was good, we were a happy little family. After our son was born, I went back to work. We worked hard to raise him together, but there's one major challenge in my life, my mother-in-law. She's, let's just say, a handful. Kevin, my husband, is cautious around her, but things were really tough when we first got married. Kevin is the middle of 3 siblings and the only one married. His brother and sister are still enjoying their single lives. My mother-in-law loves being the center of attention. She even calls herself the Madonna of the family. This is an all-male household, she often says, and you know how hard that can be. I'm the Madonna here. She's serious about it too. When I came into the picture as the first daughter-in-law, things got tense. Kevin's dad and siblings were kind and welcoming, but my mother-in-law? She saw me as competition. I can't believe Kevin is getting married, she once exclaimed. He used to say he'd marry me. I stared at her in disbelief. What are you even talking about? It's true, she insisted. Then she turned to Kevin, saying, just because you're married now, doesn't mean you should stop eating at our house. Don't forget the taste of family meals. Kevin, thankfully, stood his ground. There's no need for that, Mom. Molly is a great cook, and we'll handle things ourselves. We both work, so we'll share responsibilities at home. She gasped. You mean she makes you do housework? Kevin didn't waver. Mom, don't talk like that. Molly and I decide what works best for us. I don't want to hear another word about this. Kevin has always been the kind of person who speaks up when it matters. He's been on my side 100% from the start, and I'm so grateful for that. Kevin isn't great at picking up on subtle hints or sneaky behavior, and that's exactly where my mother-in-law shines. She does things in a way that's hard to call her out on directly. Take meals, for example. Whenever we visit Kevin's parents, she insists on cooking. I've offered to help in the kitchen many times, but she always shuts me down. No, you don't need to do anything, she says. At first, it might seem normal, but since I'm never allowed to help, I have no idea what goes into the food she serves me. One time, she gave me soup full of tiny fish bones. I didn't notice until I swallowed. It felt like needles stabbing my throat. Another time, there was bitter garlic mixed into a dish. It was so awful I couldn't eat it. Molly, are you okay? Kevin asked, noticing my discomfort. I think I have a stomachache, I admitted, trying to keep calm. Kevin's dad looked worried. Are you all right? But my mother-in-law jumped in with a sharp comment. Oh, so you don't like my cooking, huh? She's not feeling well. Mom, stop it, Kevin said, standing up for me. Maybe she's just pretending to be sick, she muttered under her breath. Don't say that, Kevin snapped. Don't treat her like that when she's not well. Fine. Everyone's always on her side, she huffed. Things came to a head one evening when I made dinner for the whole family. I wasn't feeling great, but I still prepared a meal. What's wrong? Kevin asked, sensing something was off. Don't worry, I'll eat it, I said quietly. But Kevin wasn't having it. No, something's wrong. Why are you acting like this? It's nothing, I mumbled. Suddenly, Kevin shouted, enough. He grabbed the plate of meat and potatoes that I had been served and took a bite. What the hell? My mother-in-law gasped, startled. Kevin spat the food out immediately. What is this? Vinegar? It tastes completely off. I lowered my voice, barely able to speak. This isn't the first time. Kevin froze. What do you mean? Once, I was served soup with fish bones, I admitted, my voice shaking. Kevin's face darkened. Mom, what's going on? Her tone turned defensive. I didn't do anything. You're overreacting. Then why does this taste like this? Dad, try it, Kevin said, pushing the plate toward his father. Before his dad could even take a bite, my mother-in-law snatched the plate away. If it's so bad, then no one has to eat it. Kevin wasn't letting it go. That's not the point, Mom. Why is Molly's food always like this when we visit? She threw up her hands. I have no idea what you're talking about. Kevin slammed his hand on the table. Enough, I can't believe this. You never let Molly in the kitchen, and now you're acting this way? After seeing you grab the plate like that. I think you've been doing something. I think so too, I added. That's it. I'm done. I'm never cooking another meal again, I declared. In the end, my mother-in-law never admitted to her actions or apologized. Kevin, however, saw this as the perfect excuse to stop visiting his family altogether. That day ended peacefully, but soon after, I stumbled upon something that left me completely speechless. One day, I was out of town for a business trip. On my way back to the hotel after a meeting, I saw someone familiar, my mother-in-law. But what shocked me was the man walking next to her. He was in his 20s, and they were holding hands. What? No way, I froze, trying to process what I was seeing. I didn't recognize the guy, so I decided to follow them. They went into a cafe and sat down by a window, but instead of sitting across from each other, they sat side by side, close enough to make it obvious something was going on. Without hesitation, I took out my phone and started filming, then I saw them lean in closer. Whoa, nope, I can't watch this, I muttered, quickly lowering my phone. After about half an hour, they left the cafe and disappeared into a nearby hotel. The next day, once I was back home and the kids were asleep, I brought it up with Kevin. Hey, I started cautiously, you wouldn't want to see your parents doing something shameful, right? Depending on his response, I was considering deleting the pictures and videos I had taken. I don't care, he said nonchalantly. Wait, really? You'd be fine seeing something shameful involving your parents? I pressed, trying to gauge his reaction. Now Kevin looked confused. Hold on, what's going on? Did something happen to them? Yeah, I admitted. It's about your mom. His face dropped. Oh my God, what did she do? Was it something she did to you? Not to me, I said, shaking my head. Then, I told him everything I had seen the day before. Seriously? Kevin said, stunned. I handed him my phone. I took videos and pictures. Here, look. He took the phone, glanced at the screen, and immediately recoiled. Oh my God, that's disgusting. I can't believe my mom is doing this. How old does she think she is? You're not shocked? I asked, surprised by his reaction. Not really, he replied with a shrug. This isn't her first time. What do you mean? She cheated on Dad years ago, back when she traveled a lot for work. My brother was still in middle school. Dad forgave her, and they worked things out, or so I thought. Oh, I murmured. Well, I doubt they'll work things out this time. I'll hire an agency to investigate. Can I use some money for that? Of course, it's worth it. Thanks, I'll let you know what they find. It took about a month to get the results. When Kevin saw the report, he was shocked all over again. Let's confront Mom with this, he said. Do we have to? I asked. Why not just give it to your dad and let him decide? No, that won't feel like justice, Kevin said firmly. Molly, after everything Mom has done to you, this is our chance to get revenge. She deserves it. Kevin, I want to do this for you. After all, you're my wife, and I love you. To be honest, I wanted to see her reaction too. After everything she'd put me through, I couldn't wait to see her squirm. Good idea, Kevin, I said, smiling. Before confronting her, Kevin decided to talk to his dad privately. I'll tell him first. He deserves to know before it all blows up. Yeah, that's the right call, I agreed. We left our son with my parents for the weekend and headed to Kevin's family home. The moment we arrived, my mother-in-law greeted us with her usual snide remarks. But this time, I didn't care. I knew her reign of terror was about to end. We decided to reveal everything over dinner, but, as usual, she struck first. Let's start eating, she announced with a fake smile. Then she added, I just prepared dinner for the family. Of course, wives aren't included. Okay, fine, I replied calmly, even though I was thrilled inside. I glanced at Kevin and his dad. Both nodded. It was time. It's okay, I said, I'll just eat what I brought. Then I pretended to search my bag. Wait a minute, here it is. I pulled out an envelope and handed it to her. What's this? She asked suspiciously. It's a gift for you, I said, smiling. Her face lit up, but her words were still condescending. Oh, you're finally showing some sense. but when she opened the envelope and saw the contents, her expression froze. Her hands shook as she held the papers. "What's wrong?" Kevin asked, his tone sharp. "Nothing," she stammered, trying to sound calm. "Nothing? Let me see," Kevin said, snatching the envelope from her trembling hands. "Give it back," she cried, panicking. Ignoring her, Kevin pulled out the report and began reading. This looks like an old woman paying young men for dates," he said coldly. "Turn to the back," I suggested. Kevin flipped to the last page. It had pictures of her with several young men. I thought she was only seeing one guy, but the report revealed she was involved with 5 different men. "You never learn, do you?" Kevin said bitterly. "I can't believe all the hard work Dad and I put into this family led to this." Kevin's dad remained calm but firm. "I'm divorcing you," he said quietly. "Wait, this isn't what it looks like," she protested desperately. "It's just for fun," my mother-in-law protested. "You're not wasting money on this," Kevin said, disgusted. "This is disgusting, and those guys are even younger than us." "Oh my God," he muttered. "By the way," he added, "Dan and Jason know about this too. We're cutting you off." "I'm cutting you off as well," Kevin's dad said calmly. "You're on your own now. You won't be getting any alimony from me." "Wait," my mother-in-law cried. "It's not just casual dating. I just wanted to see different worlds." "Right, Molly, you go out with other men sometimes, don't you?" "No," I replied firmly. "I don't waste money on men who aren't family. I'd rather spend it on Kevin or little John." "Don't do this to me," she begged. "You're a woman too, aren't you?" "Yes," I said, unbothered. "But what's your point?" "I'm saying, it's never enough to just be a wife or a mother, right?" "That's disgusting," I shot back. "Then why don't you stay single?" She began, but Kevin interrupted. "I bet you would cheat again," she accused. "Don't insult Molly," Kevin snapped. "She's not like you, and everyone knows it." My father-in-law spoke up then. "This is actually a good time for me to say something. I was planning on divorcing you when I retired, but now, it's perfect timing." "What?" she gasped. "I forgave you when I found out about your affair years ago," he said, "but you didn't change. You kept doing it. I knew about it all along. Whenever you were out, we were eating frozen food for dinner. You didn't think I'd notice, did you?" "It's all your fault," she yelled. "You weren't there for me." "Always blaming everyone else," he replied. "It's a miracle my sons turned out to be good people with a mother like you." "Yeah," Dan added. "We looked at you as a bad example." Jason joined in. "I think you're the reason we're still single. If this is what marriage looks like, who wants it?" "Hey," my mother-in-law exclaimed. "Oh, sorry, my bad. Forgot you were once that spouse," Jason shot back sarcastically. My father-in-law nodded. "This is a good start. Now, get out of my house. I'm not giving you any of my retirement money." "Wait, I'm supposed to get half," she cried. "Half?" he scoffed. "Alimony only covers 3 years before the divorce, and even with that, you'll regret it." She stood there, clearly calculating her next move. After a moment, she turned and left the house, looking lost and confused. "Where is she going?" I asked. "She's probably heading back to her parents' house," my father-in-law replied calmly. After that, my mother-in-law never came back. The divorce was finalized, and she was left with nothing. She moved back in with her parents, but without money, she couldn't live her old lifestyle anymore. The young men she'd been seeing disappeared, and she had to get a full-time job. Now, she works at a supermarket near her parents' house. My father-in-law is a kind man, and she was foolish to betray him. With her gone, the family is finally at peace. Dan and Jason, who rarely visited before, are coming home more often now. They've even started talking about marriage, and I'm so happy for them. Everyone is smiling now. Oh, and I'm pregnant with our second child. I'm going to keep putting my family first. Having a mother-in-law like that was difficult, but it seems that people who cheat often lose their way. At least now, my father-in-law can enjoy his later years in peace. Thanks for watching. If you liked the story, please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.